Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to Did You Hear Me? Hope everybody enjoyed that new little intro that took me way too long to create, but we have it now. Shout out to the King. Credit goes to him for giving us those sweet vocals. I'm here tonight with PackMan.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Go Pack, go.
Hey, we'll get to it. The Sheriff.
Yes, sir.
And joining us tonight, solo. He's a returning guest, but he was part of
the tandem.
Yeah, the duo, the Granite City Gamblers. We have Ace with us tonight.
Always an outstanding time to be here in the Boom Boom Room.
Yeah, we appreciate you joining us all the way from the Granite City.
It was a long drive, not gonna lie. Almost ran out of gas on the way down here.
It's gonna be interesting getting home then.
It will be.
I felt like the Granite City is a long drive from anywhere.
It's a 35-minute town. No matter if you're coming from Athens or Anderson or wherever, you know.
I agree. I agree totally with that. Well, it's sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Sheriff.
No, you're good.
First episode of 2024. Feel like I'm getting back on a bicycle after I've
That's it.
been off of it for a long time, trying to get the pedals going. It's been a little bit since we all been together. You know, dad joke of the year. Hadn't seen y'all since last year.
That's it.
It's a good one.
I know the little sleazettes will like that one as they roll their eyes at me.
Sleazettes from the Sephora makeup shop.
Yeah, they're sponsored by it, no doubt. Or I've got stock in it. Unfortunately, that doesn't pay me anything. Just keep paying them. So, we alluded to it. I think the last episode, PackMan and I started out the new year with a dry month until the marathon, and lo and behold, didn't know, wasn't planned, but also Ace.
3 months. We're calling it 3 months right now.
It's right now.
Right now, 3 months. But definitely dry January. I'll do it with you. But the goal is 3 months.
3 months is a long time.
It's a long time. I'm 2 weeks in, and it has been the hardest 2 weeks. I think I did not anticipate it being this difficult. I thought it was going to be a breeze. I started my dry January a week early because I had on call.
Okay.
So I started.
Shout out to on call.
Yeah, I started on Christmas Day actually, and you know that
Tough,
week.
tough.
Yeah, very tough. That week had Christmas, my birthday, New Year's. Yeah,
New
yeah,
Year's
that's the
Eve.
worst.
New Year's Eve. Yeah, so I ran the gauntlet that week, and then just got back from a trip to Milwaukee, connecting with a bunch of family members I hadn't seen. Some of them since my wedding, and they're cracking the Coronas open at like 9 in the morning, and I'm like,
Dangerous.
yeah, I know.
Pack
And you
Yeah,
held
too.
strong.
Oh yeah, I held strong, not one sip, and it's like I said, it's been the hardest 2 weeks
Socially, it's been hard.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's
anyway, but
it's not been fun. I'll tell you what, starting it, like you said, because we actually started this the day after Christmas. So having a lot of opportunities with around a lot of people and all that type of stuff. It's been a little bit more challenging than I thought. You know, it's not like, I've told several people, it's not like I lay in a ditch and drink mouthwash or anything, you know. It's nothing on that level.
Shout out to behind the CVS by the kayak guy.
That's right. But, in social situations, it's sometimes, it's been a go-to for so long, it's hard to break. But,
right.
hey, we're almost 2 weeks strong.
Yeah, 2 weeks in.
And, I just wanted to see what kind of effect everything, and trying to get the New Year's resolution working out a little better. So I've already seen some results in this. Seen some results in the waistline already.
Have you really?
Yep.
So I think I'm gonna have we need to get into the drink of the week.
All right,
I
so
guess.
Gotta get into it.
First off, drink of the week. PackMan, go ahead.
Yeah. So Sleezy here a while back told me that he had never had Prime, I don't even know what you call it, hydration drink. I don't know. But he had never had a Prime before. I'm like, oh, dude, my kids love it. And we bring it to
The
the
youngs.
field.
The
Yeah.
youngs like it.
So, lo and behold, we've had this dry January. I said, man, what are we going to do for the drink of the week this month? And I said, well, I'll bring the Prime. Let you try the Prime. So here we are. We've got a lemon lime Prime this week
And,
for Sleezy to try.
Yeah, never had a Prime. Like you said, the young people like it. I've heard of it, never had it. While we get them, it's not going to be a satisfying
There we go.
tonight. Be a little twist.
There it is.
A little
Oh.
pop there.
Logan Paul would be prime.
So I was gonna get into that. One second, let me open this.
I thought this was like
Actually,
coconut water.
While I'm opening this, Ace was giving me a
There
little
it is.
background on this. Go ahead and give me your spiel there.
Just a bunch of frauds. The Paul brothers are.
The problem child, you don't like
I
him?
don't like them at all.
I
mean,
can see that.
Yeah, I'm a professional boxer. I don't fight anyone who also professionally boxes.
I can see you're a red-blooded American, so I can see the problem there.
That is a interesting drink.
Yeah, well, yeah, thoughts. So I'll go ahead and tell you,
It is.
Brady is looking forward to watching this on YouTube because he wanted to see your reaction to the prime. So let us have it.
To the prime.
Um,
Cheers.
First of all,
Salute to the hydration.
this is definitely a drink that would need it, something with it. It's very sweet.
Salute to the
very
hydration.
Has a weird.
I'm over
I
here.
don't know. I got to drink a little more of it, but so for those of you that don't know,
Woo, boy.
Mama Sleezy, the Paul brothers are what are they? YouTube influencers? Is that what their actual
That's what
title
they
is?
started.
Yeah, I guess they started out as YouTubers, basically.
Almost like male Kardashians. They're famous for being
That's a
famous.
good description.
That's actually a good one. I think one of them started out on the Disney Channel and then they went to YouTube.
Oh, really?
It was something like
Okay.
that. Yeah.
All right.
So
I think Logan had a cup of coffee on the Disney Hannah Montana or something years
Yeah,
ago.
it was something like that.
do they own this drink or they just sponsor it? Or they
They
promote
own
it?
I think he and there's a kickboxer from another country named KSI,
Yeah, we're checking.
Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
We're checking with the stat guy now.
and they, I guess, foot the bill to create this.
Okay.
PackMan is all over it.
Well, they must be doing well because I know a lot of people.
This tastes
tried
like
it, and now we're trying it. And
Yeah.
Here we are with our dozens of listeners
Yeah.
now scurrying to the stores
To go get prime, but the kids love it. The grown-ups not so much. I think is how that
That's
works.
a little too sweet for me.
It's
but
very sweet.
I'll keep sipping on it.
Prime was developed to fill the void where great taste meets function with bold, thirst-quenching flavors to help you refresh, replenish, and refuel. I'm almost done. Prime is the perfect boost for any endeavor. Pause. We're confident you'll love it as much as we do. But yes, Pack was right. KSI and Logan Paul.
There we go.
And it's not. I've had it before with the deputies, and
Yeah, right.
it's not for me.
No,
We're
no,
good. Well, I'm glad
But
Ace
I'm
has brought
expanding
a
my horizons.
supplement here. He's got a Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I'm the one alcoholic on the
Cherry
panel here.
Coke, zero.
And the sheriff, of course, the man of all liquids. He,
Maybe except for the. Nah, never mind.
what do you got there? What are you
No
sipping
special sauce.
on? What are you sipping on
Please.
there?
no poison. You're not sucking the
No,
poison.
no poison's coming on anybody's members on my watch.
What do you got to drink?
I've got I'm kicking it back to maybe episode 3
Okay.
with the classic city lager that I'll crack
Okay.
at some point. And then a little Crown Royal whiskey lemonade. I think this is fairly new. They've got a whiskey cola and a
Hey, maybe,
Peach.
Maybe after January
lemonade.
we'll take a little
I-
gander down that road.
I probably drink the least out of anybody. I told the doctor it was once a week, and now I look like an alcoholic on the panel here.
Is that what you told the
But
doctor,
this
or
is
that's
my
what,
once a week.
or that's what? Is that the truth,
No,
or
this
that's what
is-
you told
that's-
the doctor?
That's a rough approximation, but I would
Yeah,
say
well-
it's pretty close.
Let me ask you this, because I've had this conversation with other people. Go ahead with the question. Start off the new year.
No.
When y'all go to the doctor, y'all honest with him?
Yeah.
Give or take, yeah.
See, I don't. That give or take is not being honest. When he asks,
Oh, it's
"How often are you exercising? How many alcoholic drinks a week are you having?" Are you honest?
Yeah, man. He doesn't care.
Nah, I feel like he's judgy.
No, they're not judging. They don't
Hold,
care.
hold on. Secondary question to the first
okay.
question.
Oh, whoa, layers here.
Y'all regularly go to the doctor?
I knew that was coming.
You just go?
They don't have those in Edwards.
Oh, I have to drive 35 minutes to
You
Athens.
got to wait on the traveling doctor to come with his wagon.
To the classic city with his top hat and his black
And he
bag.
sells snake oil and all that stuff.
I bought it one time.
We gotta get the dog sled team to bring the medicine over there.
Hold on. So when's
I
the
knew
last
it was
time?
coming.
So you're telling me nothing's wrong with you, and you just
once
go.
a year. So your insurance that you pay way too much for, I don't know, you might be through your wife's, but it doesn't matter. We love our employer.
That's it.
As I've rejoined the team.
Hour. That took long.
We love our employer. Your insurance that you pay for pays for you a doctor visit every year.
Really?
Like you're already paying for
I
it.
feel like that'd just be a waste of time. There's
Because you're a picture of health.
Yeah, I'm about a once a year.
You know, you go in and get the oil checked.
There you go.
The,
Whoa. And get the thumbs out.
It's your PM.
Yeah.
Your PM for your body.
Can we need to explain that to the listeners? All 12 of them? Periodic maintenance, I think that's what PM stands for.
Preventative, but yeah.
Yeah.
Close.
Yeah.
Very close.
Yeah, preventative maintenance for your body.
I'm probably a once every 2 or 3 year guy, but I see what Sleazy's saying. You're already paying for it.
Yeah, and you know me.
Little girl math there.
Frugality inside of me can't let that go away for free.
Squeak.
So I'm gonna go sit there and lie to the doctor every year.
So back to your point, you lie to him. You don't tell him how many drinks you have. Or...
Probably some
Yeah,
tobacco
I mean,
use.
roundabout, and you know, I just don't feel like you need to know everything.
That's why I
That's
say
what the blood work is for.
I'm putting them in the. Can you not put him in the area and then he can be a doctor or she and figure it out?
I feel like if he needs to ask me questions, like what am I paying him for?
True.
Like he should get all
He's
the work.
not all knowing. He doesn't just know.
He should get all the biometrics that I've
That's it.
given, and he can look at it.
The blood test doesn't lie.
Yeah, he should either look at.
Hopefully, there's no alcohol in your blood.
Could be. After January, could be. His blood. Hey, you should go to the doctor now because your blood is very hydrated right now.
Sleaze is showing up to the doctor at a point too. Yeah. He's like, I don't know how that got in here. You tell me you want my blood.
Yeah, you're the doctor.
Straight from the ditch.
Yeah, I don't even drink.
For 1 month.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like he should look at the blood work. If something's high, he should be like, hey, this particular organ is spitting out this endocrine level.
That's it.
So
you were lying.
That means you have this in your body. You need to cut it out. That's what should happen.
So you're not sick at all. You're not hurt at all. And you're just wasting. You're wasting everybody's time by just randomly sitting in there with all those sick and hurt people.
You can't
Like,
wrap your mind around
You're
this,
just like,
can you?
I just wasted an entire day out of my year.
It doesn't take an entire day.
For you to tell me what's wrong.
Her brain is oozing out of her ear now.
Yeah.
She wants the preventative maintenance.
Yeah, I can't believe you get away with going once every 2 or 3 years. I'm surprised she doesn't make you go
Like twice a
monthly,
year.
you know, monthly.
She wanted me to go with the digestive issues I've had since Christmas, but I just went to the Gatorade, stayed hydrated, and pushed through.
Yeah, a lot of pushing.
Yeah, could have went to Prime.
Yeah. So, okay, well, I just wanted to ask about that. Now
Obviously, Jet does not go to the doctor.
That left me baffled. I'm truly in awe right now.
So
What about offspring?
yeah, Ace just had a new baby.
Yeah, I was
the
just gonna say.
26th. Side note, worst birthday you could have ever had for that child.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes, man.
But anyway, as Pack, I don't know, would you agree with that?
Yeah, mine's the 27th.
Yeah.
So
And mine's the 18th. Mine's
You
the
giving
18th.
it up?
yeah.
Anyways, so now that the child has popped out of the mom, you're just never taking it back to the doctor.
Nope.
No, they keep on telling us we have to bring him back.
Yeah.
So then after they say we don't have to anymore unless he is sick or hurt, what's the point?
Shout out to Ace Jr.
All right.
Don't get hurt, buddy.
I mean, you know, he's having an issue. Hey, let's go on up to the doc. Are we just gonna take time out of our day to just randomly go up there? No.
Well, what you gonna do when he leaves for college and starts lying to you? You gonna take him to the doctor then? Speaking of lying to the doctor, what happens when he's lying to you? We've got Alabama football players getting in trouble for certain things that need to go to the doctor. So
Where did the lying and taking?
I know you. I know Ace was a Leo shiftmate of Ace. I'm sure that fella's gonna go to college and take a step on the wild side. Is what I'm saying.
I don't know
He may need a colon cleanse, or who knows.
Mama's
Where are we going?
I'm super confused about where this like led to.
I was alluding
And
to
then-
the offensive lineman Elijah Pritchett. But
Okay.
it could be anything, not just something that's transmitted.
Could
be anything.
Okay, I see the.
And I
link.
could see a dad having to do some investigations to get to the bottom of that.
That was one of the craziest connections that I'm having to respond to I've ever.
Hey, I'm
had
gonna make
in
you
my
work
life.
for it.
Yeah.
The co-host here will tell you that you got to follow the circle.
Yeah. Moving on.
Yes, please.
So
Well, obviously the kid ain't going to the doctor. He's just gonna have to get the Ajax out
and wash them up.
and wash him out.
So tomorrow night, fellas, national championship game. I want to at least mention. I don't think it was the one that we would have picked, right?
Nobody picked it.
So Washington beat, Texas. There we go. It's been so long. It's been a week.
It has been
37 to 31 for the Huskies.
Frustrating game because it never seemed to want to end. I don't know if everybody stayed up. It was a long day, especially after staying up for New Year's Eve the night before. This old body. I know I'm a man now. I'm 40, but it's hard to take back-to-back nights to midnight.
Even sober?
And then, it was rough. And then Michigan beat Alabama. Should we say that, or should we say Alabama beat Alabama?
I'd say that Michigan beat Alabama. I would say that.
I think defensively, I definitely would agree with you. I don't know about offensively.
I think both of your points could be right. The Michigan's defense is legit.
They are legit. I knew they were good before. I think they really showed out. How much do you want to buy into this theory? Because we're not going to break down the game because nobody would want to hear that from us anyways. But my theory is that Alabama, after they beat Georgia, listened to all the hype and listened to Paul Feinbaum on repeat about how great they were and how they were going to beat Michigan, and I just think they didn't.
Rat
From
poison.
what I saw, they didn't play a very clean game. And then Mildew played. Shout out to
Jalen Mildew.
Shout out to the sheriff's brother-in-law.
Yes.
For giving that name, I love it. Mildew for old Milrow, the quarterback for Alabama.
Shout out to
Played
AJ.
how I thought he was going to play against Georgia, but he didn't play that.
How he
did not
played
play
all
well.
year.
Yeah, he didn't play that well, and I felt like he gave the game away.
So I will go ahead and counteract with
Counteract.
the biggest thing that Michigan did was the thing that Georgia should have done while watching that game was they stacked the box and they sent 6 every time. So with that, you put pressure on it. Now your center's having some issues. Now Mildew's having issues, and then that's what's creating the whole problem going on. Georgia, when we played them, we're running a 3-4 defense. We were giving pressure with 3 and then having a one-man spy for them. But when you're blocking with 5, 4th grade elementary math here,
The math is on your side.
you got openings to where he can run.
They
Michigan
did.
took
That's a
that
good
away and made him pass, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
Georgia did rush 3 on one play and spied him with 2. And I believe Jalen Walker got a sack on that one. But either way, to your point, the math still matches up. That was 5 on 5.
Instead of giving him running angles further up past the line, what you're doing is knocking those back and then making him pass.
Well,
Which he didn't.
which was a
And that's what
great,
you want to do with him.
Yes.
Yes.
great
I mean,
game
that's it.
plan because they didn't give him. It's either running or the deep ball, and they took both of those away by pressure. If I'm picking up what you're saying, Jet.
Yeah, I mean the only ways, because I watched both playoff games together, so the only ways that they scored was you got that Jace McClellan, I think I'm saying his name right.
Correct, number 2.
Yeah, they got him out in space. He just wiggles out from the backfield. You think he's blocking, he comes out and then shimmies his way, and then that's how they score twice. But that's credit for that game right there. Credit the Michigan defense and especially like the defense coordinators standpoint on how to address it.
Yeah. And how did sorry to cut y'all off.
No,
I thought that was good. That was a good synopsis of what they did. I wasn't trying to discredit Michigan's defense. I just felt like Alabama had a couple of opportunities to, the fumble by Mildew late in the 3rd quarter at the midfield.
Shout out to AJ for the Mildew.
There you go. That
Got
probably
some traction.
could have ended up with at least a field goal, and that's the difference in the game.
Okay.
In any event, how did Jim Harbaugh become so unlikable?
He's got some.
I love him.
You like Jim Harbaugh?
Oh,
Tell me
I
why.
do,
Tell
I
me why
do.
you like him.
Hey, man.
Come on,
Tell me,
Pat.
Pat.
He
You're not
likes the
cheating, you're
high
not
functioning.
trying. Hey.
Oh, a little banging on the trash can
Yeah,
over here
that's
with
it.
Pat.
I just don't hate him. He's not. I don't hate him as much as everybody else hates him. It's not like that. I like him. I just don't.
Even
hate
before
him.
the cheating this year, I just felt like he became a whiny old man overnight.
But
like I used to like him when he was with Stanford. I felt like he was, had some fire, had some, he's weird, he's unconventional.
He's very high functioning.
He's definitely got some tisms going on.
Yeah,
Kismet.
And then he gets hired by the 49ers and he brings in whole milk in their team meetings and just chugging it.
I think the milk has been a staple
Yeah.
throughout.
Yeah, so and then he goes to Michigan. Maybe it's because he went to Michigan, it soured me. I don't know. Like the milk.
like the milk.
Like
Yeah.
the milk. Full circle here
Yeah.
on the
I
show.
think he's a half gallon a day guy, which I can respect it.
But I mean, the writing's on the wall. There's a lot of sanctions
he's
coming
gone.
to Michigan, and he's about to
Yeah, he
get out of there before that hits, in my opinion, from what I've seen.
Maybe they'll win the Natty, have to vacate their title. Georgia wins next year and gets their three-peat in a roundabout kind
That
of
would
way.
be interesting.
That is, I did want to get Jeff's perspective on the fact that it was frustrating to me that obviously Georgia has the athletes on both sides of the ball, but they certainly have the athletes on defense to do the same thing, and they just seemed a little reluctant to do so.
I mean, there's just different theories on what you want to do in some games, and they think that these things are going to work, and then they end up not. And I think that Georgia and your blue blood, who's in the playoff every year, stuff like that, the greatest thing that they do is make halftime adjustments and to go on quarter adjustments. So the thing was, starting like the first half of the Georgia game, he's doing very well, and then after half he doesn't do as well because we're making those adjustments.
Right.
But I think Michigan had it right off the jump
Correct.
to press him instead of going back. There's a couple of games this year, Auburn, that we didn't make the greatest adjustments until halftime, and then we're coming back. There was a Florida game like 2 or 3 years ago. We were doing the same thing, playing this bend don't break defense, and then come back out in the second half. So I mean, it's things like that. I mean, coaches try different things to kind of disguise what they're going to do later. I mean, it's just a big chess game, really.
I got a question due on that, and I just totally forgot the question, so go ahead, Lee.
Very nice, very nice.
This is top notch background noise right here.
Get the vacuum cleaner going so you can barely hear us.
Hope y'all are enjoying folding your laundry right now.
That game made me very mad to see a hungry Georgia team come out, and I don't care if they were playing in an NAIA Division III school. If you beat somebody by 60, it's a good day.
So you're getting into that game now.
But I just think you saw a team that had lost, that was hungry, that had some time to get healthy, that came out with the right mindset, and then you saw a Alabama team that fell back to the mean, which was how they were, and you're kind of thinking that instead of being upset about the game in Atlanta, you're kind of looking at that as the one that got away.
Yeah.
And that was what the question I was going to ask, Sleazy, and now we can go back to foreground versus background noise. Do we think there is something mentally going on with our beautiful receding hairline coach when they play a certain team in the Mercedes-Benz or the Georgia Dome versus it actually being the Jimmies and the Joes on the field? Because I think there's a little bit of mental gymnastics going on there too.
There probably is, but I mean,
Alabama's
you still-
never lost to them in that building.
Yeah, I mean, you still got to think back, though, that, I mean, that was a back and forth game for what it was. I mean, Alabama did seem to dominate.
I did
A lot of
not
that
think
game.
it should have been even close. I thought it should have been, and I think reality has proven this much. And I hate doing the, well, so-and-so beat so-and-so that beat so-and-so, so they would probably beat each other. I hate that. Y'all know I don't like the what-ifs, because if your aunt had a certain thing, she'd be your uncle. or if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, and we'd all have a Merry Christmas. I don't like the what-ifs. I'm just saying,
Okay.
with your eyes,
Yeah.
right, Jet? With
Yeah.
your eyes, you can see that should have never even been a game. I will admit Alabama overachieved, I will admit that in a lot of cases, Georgia beat Georgia. I just think as soon as that game was competitive with Michigan, I became upset because that game for the SEC championship should have never even been close. That's a 10 to 14 point game.
I see what you're saying.
With everyone being healthy and
Yeah.
blah, 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 with what happened with time off, like I'm not underscoring that you're playing third string Florida State, that Georgia's finally healthy, that they have a chip on their shoulder that they didn't have because they had won 29 straight. Like, I get, crap happens and they maybe got a little complacent, but I think it's something with playing Saban in that building.
So, I mean, like you said, just so much that I'm not going to be able to answer back to, like, pretty much of what you're talking about. The Georgia, so we're gonna go Pat. We're gonna go on a timeline.
Go with it.
So I can have this straight because that was a windy road.
The whiskey lemonade is kicking in.
So Georgia Alabama game. So the past 2 years that we've sat here and we've watched Georgia, even when we were down 10 points at Auburn, I was at that stadium. There's never been a time to where you say we're not in the driver's seat. Right. There wasn't a time where you were like, oh, we're about to lose this. So the entire time while we're playing Alabama, it's a very competitive game. We lose it at the end, and then you can blame it on injuries. You can blame it on whatever you want to do. Stuff happens. I mean, you lose games, right? Same way if you're looking at these playoff games. One guy makes a catch, one dude doesn't fumble. It's a 14-point swing almost, So you can't necessarily look at it at that aspect. I don't question. The only time, there's really nothing of Kirby that I've ever sat there and said, well, Saban's got his number or something like that. I feel like it's, when we're going to look back 10 years from now, they're all going to be classic games that you're going to look at and you're going to say, well, the same thing of if that guy would have caught that pass, if that guy would have done this or done that, then that's a 7-point swing, a 14-point swing. So you can't really necessarily blame something on one individual. It's just the game of football as it is.
Well, they beat Saban, but it was in a different building. I'm saying if you take me to a place I've never lost, there's going to be some type of, I don't even want to, I'll term it like this.
Saban walks into every building like that.
Well,
why wouldn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that Kirby going into a Mercedes-Benz is like somebody playing LSU in the mid-2000s where it was Death Valley at 7:30 at night.
Right.
Or like the Swamp when Tim Tebow was there in a 7:30 game at night. It's not something like that.
No, it's a neutral site, so I understand that. I'm just saying, is there some type of artificial, maybe that's the word I can use, artificial advantage to the fact that I'm walking into a building against a team and I've never lost to this team in this building?
I don't believe that plays a factor. I think every team's different. I think it's just a game of football of what it is. I don't think there's a necessary thing. I will say 4th and 5, that wasn't a catch. I'm going to go ahead and put that out there.
Oh, the 4th and 4 that they never even reviewed. I would give them credit if they reviewed it at least.
Now fast forwarding into the time of what you were talking about, the Georgia-Florida State game, what we were saying.
The Orange Bowl.
Yes. That game there proved a lot as far as where we was at. I really liked CNN's take back when he came on here and he was talking about they put him out of the top 4. I personally believe what they should have done, and this would have made the most sense out of anything, was if they would have put them, because it didn't make sense for them to say, okay, Alabama, you're 4, Florida State, you're 5, and Georgia, you're 6. Because we lose by 3 to Alabama. So we're a pretty tight-knit group there. So how are you going to put this Florida State team in between Georgia and Alabama? So that was my take on that. What I would have liked to see was, if they were going to go ahead and kick Florida State out of the playoff to begin with, make them 7.
Right.
Make them 7.
When the kid gets hurt.
Put them 7. Make Ohio State number 6. Then Florida State's completely out. They're going to be pissed off anyway. And they're going to have their time, and, their game against Missouri might have went the same way. Who knows? But you would have had an all-time classic in, essentially, if you're looking at it from a playoff standpoint, you're looking at the number 2 Big Ten team versus the number 2 SEC team in Ohio State versus Georgia. And I think that would have been an absolute. That's a great game that we didn't get to see.
Yeah, I mean, the bowl season's a whole other conversation.
So you're saying, let me clarify this for a bunch of people that don't even watch, unless you want to.
Go ahead.
Is that what you're doing?
No, go ahead.
He's essentially saying the Cotton Bowl would be. So you're putting Ohio State in the Orange Bowl, or the Cotton Bowl would be?
Simplicity's sake, he was talking about the matchups. I think the bowls are.
Okay. I'm just going to clarify for the listeners that Missouri played
Okay,
Ohio State at the
Yes.
Cowboy Stadium. That was 7 versus 9. Ohio State being 7, Missouri being 9. Missouri won 14-3. That was the Cotton Bowl. And then most of our beautiful listeners from the Classic City area will know that 5 and 6 were
Yes. It's going to be
Miami. And then
somebody.
8 played 23.
Somebody had already alluded to this. I can't remember which coach was talking. They got to figure this out because when they go to the playoff next year with 12 teams, y'all saw how bad.
Bad.
So the lower bowl games were pretty good, and by lower bowl games I mean the what's the best way to describe that? Like the smaller schools that played in bowl games. That's kind of like they know they have no chance at a playoff ever. So the bowl game is their goal at the beginning of the season. Those bowl games were pretty competitive, but then when you got to the big schools, he just mentioned Ohio State. Of course, Florida State. I mean, you had so many kids not playing for personal reasons that made a lot of financial sense for some of them, and some of them probably made even more financial sense because they went to the transfer portal to go get paid by whatever collective's going to pay them. Going forward, if the team doesn't make the 12-team playoff, I think those bowl games are going to get worse and worse because that's what they're playing for. There's so many teams going to get in. Starting next year, 12 teams are getting in. I think the upper echelon bowl games that aren't the playoffs are just going to get worse and worse. It's a pretty bad bowl season.
It was terrible.
Once it got to the quote-unquote big schools that were playing each other, there were a couple of good ones. Kentucky, Clemson was a good game.
That's what I was going to say. The middle.
But they also were playing for, Clemson is kind of playing for respect at this point in their season, and Kentucky as well. They're always looking for respect. But when you get into the big schools, Ohio State had a bunch of people that didn't play. Florida State had a bunch of people that didn't play. Even Georgia had some that didn't play, quote-unquote, for injuries, which I don't know.
Yeah, the middle of the rankings, which would be that, you were talking about the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl between Clemson and Kentucky, which was the sloppiest third quarter in the history of football, but the game as an overall was kind of that seesaw battle. I think it was 38-35, something like that.
It was?
Yeah.
42 points scored in one quarter in the fourth quarter. So it was a entertaining game. I don't know if I'd say it was a good game, but yeah, I don't know what. It seems like there's the playoffs where everyone's going to play. Then you've got these New Year's Six Bowls that you're talking about. So outside of the playoff, which this year was Peach Bowl, Cotton Bowl, Orange Bowl, and Fiesta Bowl, were out of the playoffs. Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl,
which traditionally have been huge.
Correct.
They've held a lot of steam to get selected to those games, and now I just think it's all gone because you want the playoff or nothing, especially when there's more teams going on.
And then there's this big. That's kind of this big cavern is those horrible games, and like you said, none of them were close.
No.
The closest game was Ohio State, Missouri, which was 3-0.
Yeah, and that was not
for the
fun
Buckeyes
game
forever. And then, then you get to the middle of the rankings, and then the games kind of start to. There's some more parity, but I don't. Yeah, our friend Kirk Herbstreit is just saying don't play them if they're not part of this 12-team playoff. Don't play them, but that's not going to happen. But
no, it's too much money involved.
That is really the only like hard and fast remedy that I can think of, because they're just more and more as you expand this playoff and you start moving down the rankings to the teams that actually have a complaint. Versus like a legitimately good, decent team that was 13-0 and a conference champ. Now you're just cheapening. It's just a slippery slope to me.
So there's so much going on with college football right now. Just as far as like bowl, people are
excited about
people are wanting to talk about. This is all I live for in the fall.
Yeah.
So the bowls in itself, you don't see. my biggest comparison would be like the March Madness, the NCAA tournament, right? If you don't make it in the 64 team bracket, your basketball season's done.
You got the NIT, which one coach compared bowls not in the playoff to the NIT, but go ahead.
Right, but I'm saying, so you're going to have a 12-team playoff from here, and then you're going to have to schedule those bowl games. But the biggest issue that I see with college football or the league right now, is so for anybody going to college, like if I want to go to the University of Georgia, I could enroll in August or I could enroll in January. The worst thing that they're going to have to figure out is I think that they should shorten the football season since they're going to have a 12-team playoff. They need to shorten the season to like 10 games. And then, because we're playing 12 now, try it at 10. I mean, you could even dial it back to 8, honestly.
That's never going to happen.
I know that's never going to happen, but if you dial them back, then you have the month of December to kind of figure out your playoff bracket or whatever kind of wash bowls, Tide Pod bowls you want to have.
Pop-Tart, there's a Pop-Tart bowl.
Yeah, whatever you want.
They put a guy down the toaster and he came out and
the mascot is edible, yes.
Yeah.
So that was actually pretty cool. The mascot was edible. Go ahead, Jeff.
You're going to have...
We're stealing your thunder?
Yeah, no, you're good. So all these other bowls that doesn't even matter, you can play those then, but the worst thing that's happening in college football right now is kids leaving in the middle of bowl season and they're entering the portal. I think that the portal should be closed off from starting in December, or the portal should open as soon as the season ends, and then opens it up to January for them to enroll going into the new school, going forward from there. The issue is that you're having kids.
The start of school is a huge issue.
They're having kids now where they say, oh, well, I'm going to stop playing whatever at Georgia and I'm going to go to Texas A&M, and it's right before you're playing a bowl game.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So their teams are having to, and then you have the issue of, well, what coaches are talking to my players, what players are talking to other coaches.
Tampering.
As far as that goes during that time. You could cut it completely off if you just closed the portal and then open it back up.
Yeah, my personal opinion is we're going to look back on this in 10 years, and this is going to be like the Wild West.
Yeah.
That was finally tamed, because it's so wild right now. There are no rules. It's like, it's good that they've moved in this direction for the student athlete, because, well, I think it is, because they can at least do what's best for them, but the way that it's being done is harmful to the product. And so they're going to have to come up with some rules and some guidelines that they haven't yet, because I don't think anybody... So many states involved, and state governments have gotten involved with some of this stuff. So it's
personally, they're gonna have to start the season earlier going on, and then they're gonna have to start opening the portal earlier in between that month that the season is. So you're gonna have to start your season early. You're gonna have to end your season earlier, and then open up the portal from that standpoint on to kind of fix that for kids to be able to enroll, for those kids to be in there.
Yeah.
I do think it would be easier to move the portal, and I think the portal and the early sign-in period is around the same time. Correct me if I'm wrong. And there is almost a conflict with the starting of school. That's why these kids have to leave whatever program. I'm just further digesting your point, Ace, to say the reason why a lot of these people are upset, myself included, that, hey, Joe Blow left Georgia and did not play in the bowl, is because unbeknownst to the fan, the sports fan, Joe Blow is also an economics student, and so he has to get to Missouri in order to get to his classes. The calendar has to be tweaked. I think it's easier to tweak the calendar than it is to get rid of some of these games, because my only pushback to a lot of good points that you made would be there's no preseason for college. All they have is inter-squad scrimmages, which Georgia plays a ton of them in Sanford where no one's there, in Sanford Stadium, and that's the only preseason these kids get. Is I don't think you know what kind of team you have, or as talented as they are. Obviously, we're spoiled here, but I'm saying even the blue bloods of the blue bloods, to use Jet's term, you don't know what team you have really till probably game 4 or 5.
And that's true. I think we
without
saw-
a preseason,
I think we saw that a lot from a lot of teams.
Yes.
But
including Georgia.
I've also been a fan of they don't have a top 25 poll until after the first four
correct.
games of the
I would
season.
agree with that because that skews everybody's thinking
Right.
because they're number one in August or in September when the season starts, so you can't drop them too low too quick because they were number one for a reason. But nobody knows how good a team is, especially with everybody rotating in and out,
Yeah,
like
but-
the kids the way they do.
But I mean, like, if you take a big, and I'm not like going on about different conferences
Go
because
on with
people are gonna have different things, but like statistically speaking, this year, so like the ACC and then the Big 12 have down years as far as like their top 25 people,
Well,
right?
they're saying the SEC was down too.
Well, what I'm getting at is say for whatever reason, the people that make these AP top 25, they say, hey, we believe Kansas State is number 3 in the nation, and they play Georgia this past season's schedule, and they make it through top 3 the entire time, and then they go into these playoff games and get absolutely blowed out because they're not playing anybody, but they were number 3 all year. So how are you going to take that away from them?
Yeah. I do. Oh goodness, sorry about that.
Got a jam going
I know.
on.
I do want to ask Pack because before we came up here, he alluded to it earlier. He had some good news from up north, from Lambeau Field.
Playoff bound, baby. Packers Cowboys.
Playoff bound. Dr.
Is that-
Love got him in.
Is that locked in there playing the Cowboys?
Locked in, playing the Cowboys.
Breaking
Wild card
news.
weekend next week. Yeah.
There be in Jerry's world.
Tell me,
right? Sorry.
Jerry's
can you
world.
share that stat you shared with me about your team, about the age?
Youngest team to make the playoffs ever in history since they've been keeping track of that stat, which I don't know how long that's been. But yeah, youngest team to ever make the playoffs. By youngest, it's total average age of the
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, I don't. What is it, like 25 or 26 is the average age of the team?
I
Hold
don't
on,
know.
I'll look that up. I was going to let you brag on the score.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
17-9
Yeah,
over
17-9
the
over
Bears.
the hated Bears. That's 10 in a row
So the
over the Bears,
yeah.
by the way.
The Cowboys are quote unquote good this year.
Yeah,
How do you
I
feel
mean,
about your chances?
quote unquote.
you know, we'll see. I'm just happy to be in the playoffs. That's more than I expected coming into the season. And then when
you
we
were,
had
you were a little
that,
downtrodden there.
then when we had that month stretch where we lost 4 in a row,
Mm-hmm.
I was not very optimistic. But you know,
So win or lose, this has been a good season.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I think so. I mean, for a rebuild. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
'cause I
we're
think-
we're technically in a rebuild,
Yeah.
right? You know, we've gotten rid
Yeah.
of almost all of our veteran, highly paid players, with the exception of a few.
Yeah.
And we're starting over. We're young. I mean, I think
So you're sold on your quarterback, Jordan Love?
so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
I got a Google answer for you here. Shout out Google. The Packers are indeed the league's youngest team with an average age of 25.13 years.
Sounds young and cheap.
Yeah, that's it.
Building from
So
within.
They're built for success for the future
Yeah.
too. So that's what.
They do have
causes
some pieces,
optimism.
man. If you
Yeah.
believe in Dr. Love,
Yeah.
Romeo Dobbs is
Yep, he's
like
a stud.
22, 23.
Well, and so many of our players haven't
Christian
played.
Walker.
Watson
Watson,
hadn't
sorry.
played. He's had a hamstring injury.
There was a
He hadn't
Christian
played.
Walker, but I think that's
So
baseball.
things are looking
Sorry.
good then.
Looking good.
Watson.
So, you know,
Yeah.
we'll see. I don't, you know.
Hey, I'm rooting for you because I don't have a team to root for.
Yeah, there we go. Hop on that bandwagon.
I'll see how they do first. I don't want to hop on the
Jerry's
bandwagon
world's
too
going to be a
soon.
tough one.
Yeah, will. But
you know.
we've had success there in recent history. I think, I don't know, stat guy put what? I think, I don't know if the Packers have lost there.
At Jerry World?
Yeah, since that stadium is open.
I'm looking at it. Christian Walker, I'm sorry, raise my hand to the fans, is
What?
the first baseman for the D-backs. For the Arizona Diamondbacks. Put him on the Packers for a second.
While you're looking that up,
I'm looking.
Pack
Yep.
went back to his homeland under sad circumstances.
Yeah.
Anyways, while he was there, though, he got to reconnect with some people. One person in particular that he mentioned on a previous episode, Wedding Fred. Alive and well.
Wedding Fred.
Now, maybe Funeral Fred. Funeral Fred came up to me and it took me a second. Last time I saw Wedding Fred was at my wedding over 10 years ago, coming up on 11 years now. Hadn't seen him in a while, and he, man was approaching me as I'm mourning at the funeral. You know, we're all, it's a funeral, we're all in our black suits, and the ladies are in black dresses and all this, and I hear the scrub of denim jeans walking up towards me.
Look out.
At the funeral.
At the funeral. At the funeral. And a waft of, I don't know, some of the never mind. I call an odor. I'm saying, oh man, what is going on? Who is at this funeral? And this man approached me and said, do you remember me? I said, I don't know, but the best guess I could give was, gotta be Fred.
Gotta be Wedding Fred.
Gotta be Wedding Fred. And it was Wedding Fred. And I'm very appreciative of him giving his condolences and all that.
I'm just glad he's alive. We kind of hit or miss there whether or not he was still with us.
Hey, well, he's alive and well.
I'm glad to hear that.
Shout out to the Pack. The last time the Cowboys won in this head-to-head is 2016. So
Okay.
Packers won an OT in 22, 1917 playoffs in 16, which was at Jerry's World. The Packers won 34-31. So this is
Yeah, it's been one-sided for the past few years. So, but
2000s and 2010s definitely dominated by the Packers. Packers in the 2010s 7-1.
I think you got a chance.
2000s 2-2. But that was back in Texas Stadium. So.
As every episode on ESPN or every show says, you know, everybody's legacy is on the line in every playoff game.
Yeah,
It annoys me so much that everybody is defined by how they do in this tournament.
They're going to play again next year no matter what happens.
Because how many teams make the playoffs now? 14?
14, 7 on
So you
each
got
side.
14 quarterbacks that are going to be just destroy their legacy this playoff.
No.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, the ones that don't make it are destroying their legacy.
No, I'm thinking.
No, they'll say because Dak Prescott is one of the most polarizing.
Yeah, but
because he plays for the Cowboys.
Not a lot of postseason success.
No.
Though.
Correct, but he's a good quarterback.
He's a good quarterback.
Yeah. But if he can't win a playoff game, he's garbage.
I wouldn't.
That's the way that everybody treats you.
I would think that Disney Network wants you to be slaves to the moment. I understand what you're saying. What is the consistency overall? If you go to the playoffs every year and lose, and it's a pattern of behavior, sure. Then we can start to strike some judgments. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but
at least you're going to the playoffs.
They're almost more harsh on a person like Kirk Cousins.
Yes.
Kirk Cousins has a terrible playoff record because
Right.
he's won one game, I think. But Desmond Ridder isn't going to the playoffs.
Yeah, he sucks.
So he's undefeated in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
that's right. I watched him suck again today.
Penalized. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. You're getting penalized
For success.
But not the most success.
Right, making the second season.
It's just like Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan will forever be the joke of quarterbacking.
28-3.
Yeah, he'll forever be the joke, but he was a good quarterback.
Matt Ryan was very consistent.
But he'll never be remembered as a good quarterback.
Be remembered for 28-3.
Correct.
But
As he should.
But let us circle back to Ace's great point that as the season, and obviously college football is a mess right now, but as the season progresses and teams, you really do start to figure out who's good and who isn't. The margins of victory become shorter or smaller, however you want to say.
Yeah.
So that, I understand 28-3. I was on the right side of history on that one as a fan, but I don't know. It's one pass here. It's a holding. The Falcons got a holding call in that game that nobody talks about. That was, if they hadn't got called for holding there, then the game is over.
Yeah.
Because they kick a field goal, and then it's basically too big of a margin to overcome. But again, it's
just interesting. I mean, the playoffs, I'll watch them. I'm not going to not watch them. It's just interesting the takes everybody has on.
I need college football to get back to where there are more big games where the margin is smaller. And so hey, this team, one play here or there, it's going to be win or lose. And I don't think that's where we're at right now.
One more thing on college football. I saw that they're going to announce, I don't know if you're going to be in on this. I know Ace will be. Impact, maybe. They're going to announce the NCAA football release date during the national championship game.
The video game.
The video game returning this summer. I'm excited about it.
They're dropping the release.
They're gonna put the release date. Yeah.
Is Herb Street the voice of that game?
I don't
or
know
was he
much
this
about
past
it.
year?
I don't know.
He will be. They did I think Caleb Presley with Barstool had him in there
the
doing it.
Sunday conversation,
So-
that was excellent.
Hilarious.
For everybody that doesn't know, NCAA football by EA Sports was
It's
a
in the
game
game.
that was played by many young men, myself included,
Still
for many
play-
hours.
Played it before I came here.
Yeah, up until what was the last
Come on,
one?
Ace.
What was the last year? 2014. Anyways, they got sued because they were using, they were basically making the players that were playing college football,
Yes.
giving them no names.
Right.
Which
And
is
saying it wasn't
laughable
them.
now.
And so they got sued and they lost, and so they quit making the game. And now they're coming back. They're getting all the licenses now with the NIL and
Right.
everything.
Thank you, name, image,
And
and
so
likeness.
I am, as a video game hobbyist, I'm not very good at them or have the time to play them because I have bills and stuff. Whenever I do have jobs, I have bills to pay. And so
You back with us now?
I'm back. So anyways, I'm looking forward to it. You looking forward to it, Ace?
Yeah, Ace and King are already going to start a online dynasty with University of Texas El Paso. Go Miners.
No, man.
UTEP.
There
I
you
thought that
go.
was me. No, that's UTSA.
Yes. But anyway, I just
Another
wanted to mention
team
that
there,
'cause
San Antonio.
I know a lot of people are excited, myself included.
Not the Road Runners, Ace?
No.
I do want to get a
I got my
mangevity.
team.
I want to get a mangevity update. The last time Ace was here, he was in the midst of building his own home with his own hands that we were very impressed with. How's it going?
It's going. So the stress continues to rise throughout. We're about to get into the most important part of the house. The last thing that I'm going to touch with my hands.
The christening.
Yeah, pretty. Yeah. So very nice. That's coming at a later date. So,
That's it.
but so we're doing tongue and groove on for the
Pause.
ceiling in the vault.
Pause.
The tongue and groove, yeah.
In the
Yeah.
ceiling?
So we're doing the
Tongue-
vaulted ceiling. We'll have
Tongue in the groove is
stained
important.
Tongue and groove, and putting that up, it's gonna be a week.
Ooh, vaulted ceilings, all right.
So yeah, it's stressful right now. I think in about 3 weeks, all the stress will be relieved. I'll have my subs come in and finish their stuff out. And
Speaking
then we'll
like
get
a
in.
contractor here.
Yes.
Subs in.
I
Not talking about sandwiches.
really want to leave the occupation that I'm doing right now to just do that.
You should. Sounds like you already know what to do.
Hardly. I just make a lot of phone calls to guys that's been doing it for a very long time.
That's the battle right there, ain't it?
That's
So now that you're over halfway done with the house, right?
Oh yeah, like today is January the 7th. My plan is to be moved in, all my stuff in, living in it by the end of March.
That's pretty
Alright.
impressive. Would you do it again?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Just from the learning standpoint of it,
Yeah.
like going into it. Now, if you weren't planning on doing much like yourself,
Yeah.
I'd definitely stay away from it. But I mean, just the money that we saved and things of that nature.
I'm gonna stay away from it.
And the
Yeah, me
longevity
both.
that you respect that you got. The sheriff built a basketball goal today.
Proud of.
Shout out Scott Bobby for helping me.
Yeah.
He did about 60% of it, he said.
Sounds like you're a contractor.
No,
There
it
it
was,
is.
And your,
There it is.
and your sub over there.
it was a lot of tongue and groove, or understanding the female and the male part of the bolt and
There
the
you
nut. But, yeah, I think you can pause. If
Getting
you
in
can-
there.
Pack, did you build anything?
Handsy. Not
That's
handsy.
it. I did let the naysayers know because I don't think Big Brain thought that I could be of any assistance to Scott Bobby, and I was.
Speaking of naysayers and what that stands for, did you see this kid's name?
Yes.
You see, that's
Out of the Midwest,
Yeah, yeah.
committed to the
Where-
West Virginia Mountaineers.
I looked up the pronunciation.
Are y'all
I
talking
wanted
about?
to
Are
know.
y'all talking about Noah?
say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Noah.
Noah?
Yeah.
I am not saying it.
Noah nigga.
I'll let you say it.
It's K.
That-
It's
that's
a
what
hard
his
K in front
name-
of it.
Is the K silent or not?
A K in front of an N is never pronunciated.
You don't
His
It's
dad,
always silent.
okay, his dad is the coach.
You don't say cut knife?
Right, yeah.
Okay, well,
You don't say knife or
he can say knife.
you don't say nigga.
I'm gonna say, okay.
This is name.
I went
It
into
is
the
his
archives. I went into the archives because I knew this was coming.
Pause. This kid's
Okay.
name is a real guy.
This is a
true
real
story. Yeah, I'm not making
This
this
is
up.
not a Key and Peele
His,
skit.
Yeah.
his last name is spelled Knigga.
Yeah.
Just so everybody knows.
Well, at least it ain't ER.
So how else do you say it? Am I saying it wrong? There's no
No,
way.
you can. Yeah, there's no way you can say it wrong.
I have heard it pronounced with a hard K in the front of it.
Oh.
Yes.
But that's also from white broadcasters probably trying to navigate.
I was saying this
the world,
dude's
yes.
name.
Yes.
I would be doing the hard K in front of anything spelled anything like that. I saw a local correction. I saw a clip. I should specify. I saw a clip of a local interview with his dad, who is, I don't know if
He's
his
a coach.
dad's the head coach,
Yeah.
but his dad is a coach, and they pronounce the K. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes.
So who
I
is
am
that?
not
The
going
dad?
any further. No, the
But
journalist.
Okay,
yes.
so nobody in the family. We haven't heard anybody in the
He
family
nodded.
pronounce their last
The
name,
dad-
their own name yet.
The dad nodded when the journalist said, "I am here with Coach Ryan
Okay.
K." And the dad nodded, and then the interview started, as if you were to say, "Hey, I'm here with the sheriff."
What's he
I
gonna
would
say?
nod. Well, that's true. I honestly,
say-
they're
Whoa,
aware
whoa,
of it.
whoa. Let me stop you right there. My last name is pronounced.
Yeah, well, he could have.
Uh,
You could have said, "Hey, this is the." You could have stopped somebody from saying, "This is Millie." You could have said her full name. You know what I'm saying?
It'll be interesting to see how they handle this.
what is this kid like? Is he even good, or do we only know him because of his name?
I think there's some viral sensation to it,
yeah.
but he does look decent.
I think
West Virginia's a decent program.
I think it came from some meme or something like that,
Yeah.
and then they said white broadcasters going to sue
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
season
Yeah.
for trying to pronounce
So
it.
that you're going with the conspiracy theorist angle.
Yeah, the funniest part was when you pronounced it earlier, the first thing that popped up in my mind was the green car from Cars 1. How he says the chigga
Oh.
when he says that 2 or 3 times. I don't know why. I thought that was hilarious. That coming from you.
Father of a young child here.
I am.
Well,
Yeah.
anyway, I don't know how we even got on that topic. Oh,
Well,
you
they-
said naysayer.
I do like the
Yeah.
car. I do like the Cars movies. They're awesome.
Yeah.
A little adult humor sprinkled in there for you. But yeah, Noah's gonna make a splash.
He already has.
But yeah,
Maybe we'll have him on the show.
I
Get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Somebody did have a comment to the college game day lank, and maybe our listeners can do some research on that, or if Sleazy wants to further elaborate. But
Link is a
lank is a
personal,
acronym
clothing
Correct.
brand that he has, I guess.
for mildew. Yeah, it's
For
an
mildew.
NIL.
So LANK is the acronym that he has. And they did a special on it on game day on ESPN, and very professionally, Reese Davis said he has a link on his shirt, stands for.
Let a naysayer. I don't think Reese Davis to this day really knows what
No,
the joke
I-
is. He was
I
did
clueless.
not.
He had no idea.
I think reality set in after McAfee. Shout out Pat. Was saying, "Hey, that's not what it stands, or that's not what I thought it
Yeah.
stood for."
Right.
So Dez was crying, laughing at
Yes.
this, but Reese during the entire
Yeah, he was like-
interaction is like, "What are these guys laughing at?"
Yes, yeah.
What is going
That's
on?
that's what I thought. Because
Yeah.
even like when he re-picked up his
Right.
read of the whole thing, I don't think,
And for those that have lost, that
Yeah,
everybody
sorry.
thought the N had a hard K in front of it
yes, right.
in the acronym.
Which in real life, in reality,
Yeah.
Lank
is,
means
yes,
Yes.
let a no.
let Noah know. Anyway, this is a typical. Something can have more than one meanings type deal. Obviously, with us saying saws or any of the code names,
So
there's multiple jokes and layers, but I think it was great that everybody on the panel could laugh at it, and it was an eclectic panel. Go ahead.
I'm going to make a controversial comment because we have our
here we go.
spokesperson for all black people, PackMan here.
Barry.
He speaks for all black people.
One and done on the podcast for 2024. Here we go.
No, my point is, you know, with that word being brought up this week, isn't it progress in society where the generation coming up, like, I don't think they view that word the same way we do. Because, and the reason I say that is, it's been so prevalent in pop culture and, you know, hip hop music and all that it doesn't have the same connotation that it probably did with us growing up as it does with the new. Because you see these young people making TikToks all the time, singing words to songs, and when I play Call of Duty, because I still do with my headphones on, like, they're throwing the M word around, and they're obviously white, but they're not saying it like derogatory. It's like
you don't get it on Call of Duty? You don't get like the derogatory? I get it all the time.
Hold on. Let me take that back. There is a lot of derogatory.
I was going to say, oh my God.
I'm saying though, there's a certain age group that uses that term.
Gotcha.
How it is used in the culturals. Is that, how am I saying that wrong? It's something that we have to walk on eggshells to talk about, because obviously when I was growing up, it was something you didn't utter. It was used, but now it's so prevalent, it's almost like, but isn't that progress?
Well, let me answer your question by asking your question.
Since you're the spokesperson for all black people.
None of y'all have said it.
No.
Like it.
Like on air? I'm just kidding.
Okay, but if I'm in the car by myself listening to hip hop.
This is not confessional time. Yeah. Okay? No, I don't use the word.
Right.
I don't use it, but
yeah. So I mean,
I don't use it. I'm just saying there's a generation growing up where it doesn't have the same meaning. I don't think it does. To them, it has the same meaning to society, but I think to that certain group, and there's going to be
a good question.
There's going to be a bunch of cringe videos that come out with these, and there already have been with like young athletes where they have tweets, and now there's going to be videos of them using it, but I don't think it's going to be in the hate type of way, even though it's still
I don't. Yeah,
but I'm saying, is that not progress?
Yeah, so I understand what you're saying.
That there's such a bad connotation, has a bad history, to where that word now maybe doesn't have the same for the new generation. Is that not progress?
And are you saying that all the
like one day we're gonna have a white president that gets up and is
no,
hey y'all my Noahs out there.
All the naysayers out there, what's up? No, I don't think it is what it is, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Is there a difference between using it in context of like a lyric, and then just saying it, you know, not coming from a quote? You understand what I'm saying? Is there a distinction there between context and not?
Right, I think most people can understand the difference and, you know, not get. But I think sometimes people choose to get offended, no matter what the situation is, when certain people use that word.
Yeah. So I think like the viral clip, I can't remember which artist it was, invited a white girl up on the stage to sing his song.
Oh yeah, it was like the baby or
and she said his lyrics, and then he like threw her off the stage because she said the N word.
Right.
Like that. That's crazy to me, because that's your song that made you a millionaire.
Is that entrapment?
That particular situation.
I'm asking.
Is it unfortunate that for everybody involved?
Well.
Or does he have to throw her off stage?
She should have said it.
Yeah,
so she just got to edit?
She should have edited.
I do have a question though.
Button in the back.
I didn't grow up in the North. You did. Was that like?
No, it's the same.
Slur thrown around like it is in the South?
No, not in my experience up north, but
I think it's been used similarly throughout the entire country. I don't think. Yeah, I don't know.
I just didn't know if it was different in different parts of the country.
I think it means the same thing. I think it means the same thing everywhere you say it.
That's not what I'm saying.
Next Milwaukee trip, don't go up
He's
there.
going to be out the window yelling out, hey, what's up, naysayer? No, I think
there's some false sense of security up there.
Yeah, I think the cultural connotation is the same. I just, if you're asking about prevalence, with me being from New England, I cultural slang, etc., was not as prevalent up there. But again, and maybe this is where Lee's going, the demographics.
I don't know who that is.
Maybe Sleezy is going this way with the naysayers. The demographics may be different, which may factor into what's being said and what isn't. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
Interjecting here.
Yeah.
Are you trying to change the subject?
Was not expecting this at all on the pod at all.
On a landmine.
Yeah, I was like, what is this?
Can we blame this on a listener? Is this a listener question?
All right, that's a good segue. Man.
We never got an answer.
Is it progress that you think white people can say the N-word?
No.
No, I don't think that's progress.
No. I'm saying to be able to joke about the word, or not joke about the word.
to come up with another word, so then that's like your secret way of saying the word. So instead of saying the N-word,
We do that all the time here.
Man, I'm so sick of all these naysayers
Oh,
around.
people have already done that online. But I'm saying we do that on this show all the time.
Oh man.
When we say a code name that means something else. Or I'll give you a harmless example, Leos. We say Leos to make a point,
man.
but
I remodeled this room for our last episode.
Yeah, shout out to the
Tomcat. That's a perfect segment.
Oh, perfect.
To the Tomcat naysayer color. Sean, thank you for that assist.
So I repainted the living room, and the shade of color was Tomcat black.
Oh God, that's perfect. See?
Tomcat black.
But Sean started that joke. Thank you.
All right.
Oh God. Oh, we lost it.
CNN has a question for us. Last question of the year. First question
Of our lives, maybe.
He wants to know what's the proper method for putting on your shoes and socks. Obviously, we're gonna put socks on first, but is it sock shoe, or sock, shoe?
All right,
Oh, that's a good question.
My dad
Yeah.
is a sock shoe guy.
Nah.
Told him to his face. Absolute psychopath. Like, there's no
Well, we already
way-
know your answer then.
There's no way that you think that that's the right way to do things.
No, you got to finish one thing and then start the other. So
No.
sock, shoe.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I meant. You do socks first.
All socks, then all shoes.
How many socks you putting on?
Well, you could be doubling up. If it's cold outside, see,
Northerners.
you could be in a foot of snow and you want to layer the socks. But it's still socks first.
Yeah, I probably worn a couple pairs of socks in my day. I think last football game at Lambeau I went to, actually, I doubled up socks. But to answer the question, I oftentimes put my socks on long before I even put my shoes
There you go.
on. So I like walk around my house and I'm never barefoot. So I'll always have at least some socks on.
You gotta protect the dogs.
Yeah, that's it. So
This question reminded me of a thoughtful husband that I am to the special agent.
You put our socks on for?
Not too long ago I did, and having kids, and y'all all are there. There's nothing worse than putting on somebody else's socks. It's unnatural. It's awkward.
It's a different angle.
It is, and I had to sit there and think about how to put this sock on this lady's foot, because it's not the same as my foot. That's all I wanted to say. Does anybody agree with that? It's
I
hard.
totally agree.
It's worse when you have a 2.5-year-old and
Yes.
she doesn't want to have her socks put on.
You're going to take them right
Yes.
off, too.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Correct. You
Thank
don't
you.
have any help, but when you even have help, it was very awkward. I didn't know.
Thank you, CNN, for totally switching gears for us.
yeah, we needed it.
Yeah, we do.
We needed it till
How
they
were you
come for
putting
us.
black socks on, though?
Just like old
What color are the socks?
old Corell was busy tonight. I had a question from Confident Kyle.
Oh.
He sent a list of them. He was wanting to know about world records, like which one would be easier to break. He listed a few of them.
All right.
So you want to go one by one, or just give me all three of them?
I like options.
Okay. Give them all.
So the first one is, how many M&Ms can you eat in 1 minute blindfolded using chopsticks? The world record is, any guesses? It's 20.
Really?
No chance.
Yeah, I can't do that one. Yeah.
As we always have circles that connect. This one connects to CNN's question. Most socks to put on 1 foot in 30 seconds. World record? 28.
In 1 minute?
30 seconds.
How big is that last sock?
I agree.
A sock a second, basically, is what
Yeah.
you have to do to beat it.
And then the last one that he mentions here is the fastest time to arrange the alphabet from a can of alphabet spaghetti. The world record, 3 minutes and 21 seconds.
Give me that one.
I think I could break that one.
Yeah, give me that one.
I'm doing the sock.
So
the
you,
sock
I
on the
think
foot.
I wonder if there's rules though. Can you use a strainer, like to get rid of all the juice?
Can't. It's got to be just the.
Just grabbing them out one by one. Is that what you're saying?
And you got to. They're probably gonna break too.
The noodles?
Well, I would say with the Fred Flintstone hands, they're definitely gonna break.
I think if there's some things with this is it like standardized because you'd actually have an easier time with it if you had a cold can. It'd be thicker and then you could just
There you
through
go.
it.
But
So
would
can
it
you
be
put it in the
thicker
fridge?
and you couldn't get it out of the gel?
Yeah, there'd have to be some temperature control there on how cold it got.
I'm sure those Guinness people would come down with their temperature gauge and
That's right.
make sure it's at room temperature.
Well, I just asked him, did you do this for the last guy?
Yeah, what kind of parody we got going on here?
Make it fair.
I mean, does this guy have video evidence so I can see this first?
So there's
I
some
don't know.
There's some.
Confident Kyle, as usual, came in. Didn't give us a lot of parameters on this. He just spit it out there. Wants to see
I
us
like it.
toss and turn because he's confident these days.
Yeah, I guess so.
Integrity.
I'm still
bringing
going. I'm
up-
going with the socks.
So
I
the
can do-
M&Ms, that's out.
Yeah,
I can't
definitely.
even eat sushi with chopsticks.
Yeah.
So you asked for a fork too?
I just use my hands.
I 100% go to it. Is that unsatisfactory?
I think
go
it's
to a-
offensive, but
Far Eastern restaurant, and
I think it's offensive.
for-
But you got to eat.
I'm gonna ask for a fork.
You stick your fork straight into sushi, straight into the mouth.
I'm not a big sushi guy. I'm saying if I go to Don Juan's Hibachi, I'm asking for a fork.
What if you eat
Those are two
hibachi, yeah.
completely separate things.
But they're gonna give you chopsticks.
They will. They'll try to. If you eat sushi, you can't use a fork.
They will try to.
What I'm saying is like hibachi and sushi is different. You sit in different places specifically for that when they
Correct.
bring you in the restaurant.
But if you go to my favorite restaurant, which is Benihana's Peachtree Road, shout out, probably not too far from Nikolai's roof, they're gonna give you a napkin. I think they give you a wet nap for after, and they give you chopsticks. That's it. And
Okay.
then the little spoon thing that comes with the soup.
So you bring your own fork?
I'm asking for a fork.
Okay. Do they have them?
Is that offensive?
Probably, but they want your money.
Yeah.
They're
So
gonna
the
let you
money
do whatever
supersedes
honky
And
the
I-
offense.
And I don't think it's as offensive because we're in America. I think if you went to
Okay.
Japan
Uh,
and started asking
I'd
for
have to
forks, yeah, I think that'd be a little more egregious.
Might get a fork into the eye.
Yeah.
Maybe. All right, so the M&Ms are out for
Yes.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
The socks, that's interesting. I think if you had the right size, you could just slide them on.
Yeah, I'm doing the sock.
Pause. Pause on the. It's all about the right size.
The alphabet's spaghetti, I think it just depends on consistency. And I mean, 3 minutes is a long time.
Yeah, that is a long time.
Here's a question,
So
though.
one person has probably like done it, and he just has the record because he's the only person that
Yes,
has ever done it.
That's
So
what I'm saying.
I think that's the key to these world records is find something so dumb
yeah,
that nobody else has even thought to make a thing and do it.
Yeah, I'll shout out Dude Perfect. Shout out.
Yeah.
They have made they've damn near made a living on finding the most quirky records and just taking a shot at them. And I think that's so cool because, like Pack is saying, you're going to be, what, the third, maybe the fourth person that's tried it?
Yeah.
So why the hell not?
Yeah, good point. So I would try either one of those.
I don't even
But
know
the
how
socks, I don't know,
Kyle
it seems
came
kind of
up.
expensive. Where are you going to get big socks? Like my granddad used to have some, but I don't know where his are at.
You'll have to ask him.
Might have to go to the big and tall store. I don't know.
Maybe get some of those diabetes socks, the ones that swell up.
Yeah. Or Wilford Brimley's.
Yeah.
Or the ones they give you in the hospital with the grips on the
There
bottom.
you go.
I'm out on that because I don't even like wearing socks. I'm wearing socks tonight because there needed to be some moisture wicking capabilities for the knockout games that were played.
I don't know. I say you
Socks are functional.
I say you do some research on this, and I mean, is there a Guinness World Record on the fastest time someone's ate a bag of peanut M&Ms while riding a bicycle? If not, there we are, right down the road.
Yeah,
right
come
here.
on.
World record.
World record holder right
Okay.
there.
I think we need to get busy on this. I think Did You Hear Me could hold
We
some
need to
world
be
records.
we got to be in the book.
Logo and everything.
That's it.
All right, hey,
Could be a marketing ploy.
could be a marketing ploy. Okay, well, thank you, Company Kyle, for the question. We're going to look into world records now. We're going to see if we can make our imprint bigger on the world than it already is. We're already going to smash this marathon record coming up in 3 weeks.
Yeah. I need to get back to it. I hadn't been on my grind this past
And my
week.
sources say Handsome Dave needs to step it up. That's my sources say.
Yep.
So anyways, looking forward to that.
Nick, CNN's a believer in the show and go athleticism of Handsome Dave, though.
He looks like a runner. He looks like somebody that just pops up and just runs. But we'll see if we can find some world records. I'd be interested in that. I did have a question from, we'll just call her Prosecutor Rebecca. Want to know if my kids are okay being associated with this show. I don't know if that was an insult, if she's worried about them, like in a defect sort of way.
Yes,
After this episode.
after this episode is
Yeah, they were fine being associated with until this travesty of an episode came out in 2024. They're not proud of it, but they're okay with me.
They got on prior to Lank, so they're okay.
Yeah, they had a little mini moment of fame with their friends, so they did enjoy being on the
I
bonus
thought it was
episode.
good.
If you haven't checked it out, it's up and ready to be listened to. So I appreciate everybody being here, getting this new year started off right.
They did, I was going to say hoodoo, I don't know if that's the right word. They did bluff y'all into a GD.
Oh, they did.
Y'all survived that one, didn't you?
Slangs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yacht out there.
Yeah, so it made sense after listening to. So
Pat,
when I
let us know, Pat.
no, this isn't bad.
Pat's resigning from the show.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
For the sake of all
He's
life.
not he won't be our liaison
yeah.
anymore.
You got to find another one. But when Special Agent, I think, posted maybe something on the Instagram about that slang term. Anyway, all I saw was it spelled, and I could not for the life of me understand what that slang term was. But then once it got,
Yeah. Yeah, once they.
spoken, I heard what they were
Yes.
talking about. I'm like, oh, okay. It means like, damn, like.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, on the bonus episode, you can check it
Yeah,
out.
check it out.
I
You'll
know
what I'm
when
talking
they
about.
were talking about big butts. That's when I had an epiphany. I said, oh, okay, I
There you
know.
go.
As much as things change, they stay the same.
Apparently, a lot of the a lot of the little Sleazettes classmates wish they were little naysayers around that school from my understanding.
I meant to tell you this off
I think
air.
that probably was bolstering my conversation with you tonight. The young generation,
There
they
you
like the
go.
culture. Isn't that progress?
It's cultural appropriation.
Is it progress, though? All right, listen, you have not explained to the listeners where our kids go to school, the demographics of the school. I will admit that I was listening to the bonus episode with the deputies who thoroughly enjoyed it, and they knew
Yeah, same.
all the slang, and obviously my eldest daughter knew all the Sephoras, so I enjoyed it. Now, I'm not saying that my kids listen to anything other than the bonus episodes, but
That's what they're meant for.
Uh,
A younger demographic.
Yeah, the
I can't
deputies
take
were
it.
all over it too.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, let's let Ace get his horses. They've probably done feeding outside. He's got to get the wagon ready to go
The
back.
doctor's
to
in.
Yeah, what month is the doctor visiting this year for everybody there in Elberton?
Normally during the warmer months because it's an easier climate to traverse
Yeah.
through.
That's it.
We do appreciate you coming.
Final things.
Go ahead.
Final things.
Go ahead.
So, one, happy late birthday to King.
The king.
Yeah, happy birthday,
And
King.
his dirty 30. That was pretty much it. I was just gonna add that in at the end. So
Hey, I'm glad
he
you
had
did.
to listen to the whole thing to get there.
That's how we
There you
start
go.
them in.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's
He
it.
did have
Another
some.
listener.
The cliffhanger.
If our listeners want to refer to the socials, the king did have he had a trip to South Carolina, of all places,
Hopefully you
with,
got permission.
with the
Yeah.
queen, and his hand placement was
When is the King?
I saw it. Yeah.
some veteran hand placement by
Well-
the king. He'll have to explain that at some point.
Well,
I
the
hope
podcast did end 2023 as the #1 podcast east of Millage in Hong Kong.
Okay.
A lot of listeners in Hong Kong, more than I could even have ever imagined that would listen to the show. So we appreciate that. And a prince in Nigeria tuned in one time. So interesting dynamics. Lars fell off. I don't know if
Oh no.
he was arrested or found something else to listen to, but that tailed off. But Hong Kong was holding strong. So we appreciate all the Hong Kongians out there that give us support. And
Man, we are.
we
We're
appreciate
crossing all cultural boundaries tonight.
How many people can we get to cancel us at once?
We gotta get all the races.
We've only got a few dozen to cancel, so it's all good. But we do appreciate it. Appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, man.
We'll have you
Anytime.
back again at some point. And thank everybody for listening. We're gonna.
I had a good question, but that's part of the 12 goodbyes. We may need to get canceled because that's a way to get famous now.
Hey, Tom, take it easy. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, we gotta get them back.
Cancel
Have to
us
do
so
more.
we can get famous.
All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and take it on out. Thank you guys. We'll see you next week on Did You Hear Me?